NBA is suspending the season.
This is crazy. This can't be true. I mean, it's not within the realm of possibilities. It seemed more like out of a movie than reality.
Continued breaking news in the fallout from the coronavirus. All the Power 5 leagues that have canceled their men's basketball conference tournaments, the NHL, Major League Soccer, and reportedly MLB will be following suit.
When Rudy Gobert tested positive, that was a line that was drawn in the sand.
Filmed 2 days before his positive diagnosis, this video was shared across the globe, making Rudy an even bigger target.
And fans, due to unforeseen circumstances, the game tonight has been postponed. You are all safe. And take your time in leaving the arena tonight and do so in an orderly fashion. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Rudy Gobert has tested positive for the coronavirus. That was learned in Oklahoma City prior to that game between the Jazz and the Thunder. Right now, the Thunder and Jazz, I'm told, are both quarantined in that arena. And the NBA has made the decision. They have just announced that they are suspending play, finishing after tonight's games. They're going to let tonight's games finish. But starting tomorrow, NBA play is suspended. And then the league is going to use that hiatus to decide their next steps, how they'll go forward. But this is the last night of NBA games for the foreseeable future.
Gentlemen, 1 year ago, 1 year this week, the sports world as we knew it, just life as we knew it, changed forever. Welcome, everybody, to Empty the Bench, episode number 76. A little bit of a non-traditional opening, but nonetheless, I'm Tom Albano, along with Nick Fodera and Nick Morgasen. Gentlemen, it was March 11th of 2020 in which our worlds were turned upside down. Most of the clips that you saw in that little opening there, thanks for putting that together, Nick Morgasen, came from that day, all the little sports events that were going on. Of course, COVID, I believe, had already entered the United States at this point, had entered New York, but we didn't know the scope that it was going to take. And that day, at around 9 o'clock Eastern time, the world basically exploded with the announcements of Rudy Gobert's positive test and the subsequent suspension of play for the NBA. I mean, you could tell just from that footage about like how shaken Woj was, because it was just something unprecedented, something that we had never experienced before. But I will take his words and twist them around a little. It wasn't just the last night of NBA action for a while. This, and maybe if you count the UFC in the couple of days later, was the last of sports for a while.
Yeah, it was a very odd time for the world, whether it was sports or even if you want to go a different route, you could say politics, entertainment, everything. Everything went on a standstill or a pause, which was the big word. And the three of us are going to reflect on where we actually were when this whole COVID pandemic officially started. Now, a lot of people say it was March 11th, I think was really the official date that the NBA shut down for a year, but I think the pandemic was the 9th, I think.
I put it as, I would say, everybody seems to have their own little anniversary as to when the COVID really kicked in for them. So for me, I divide it by 3 dates, each by 2 days apart. March 11th, which was the day that we're talking about. March 13th, which was actually March 11th was also when the WHO declared a pandemic on the coronavirus. March 13th, 2 days later, was when then President Donald Trump and the White House formally declared national state of emergency in the United States. And then personally, 2 days after that, March 15th, that night, was the day that I got a call from my boss at work, at my full-time day job, basically saying, tomorrow you're going to come in, we're going to have a normal work day, but you are going to gather your things. You have like 8 hours to do work, gather your stuff, get a work laptop, and beginning St. Patrick's Day, we're working from home until further notice, and we still are.
And, well, I got to tell you, I mean, for a lot of people, March 11th was the day where it really sunk home for a lot of us, myself included. I can remember because if I remember correctly, there were maybe about 1,000 cases in the United States at that point, and remember, we had been hearing about this since New Year's, around that time, 2000.
Right, I would say, but around that point, it was we had assumed
Yeah.
it was only exclusive to China, Japan, a little over
and basically in Asia and South Asia, but I think there was this prevailing sense that it wasn't gonna get bad, that we were gonna somehow dodge a bullet.
Well,
if you can call 1,000 cases at that point dodging a bullet, but that we were going to be spared the worst of it. But I think that was the day when everything kind of, we're in trouble here.
Well,
when that hit us.
I think there was a misconception on, like Nick said, how bad this virus actually was. We all thought, oh, it's the common cold. It's not going to be anything.
Because we were being told by the federal government that it was a common.
Well, I'll say, let's put it in this way. Even if it would badly had affected us as we didn't understand the scope. I remember our COVID shutdown episode when we were still an audio podcast format, and I said sports is going to shut down and life itself maybe a month, maybe or two. I'd say a bunch of my coworkers and I thought at the worst maybe 4 months, like July we'll be back. We didn't think we'd still be here.
It was going to last this long, and
let's give some clarity here. You know what? Yes, we do have a vaccine at this point. People are getting vaccinated. You know, I'd say that there are signs that maybe, just maybe, we are finally starting to reach the end. But at that point, we had even underestimated what was going to happen.
I think we're in such a... I mean, look at where we were compared to March 9th, March 11th, or whichever date you want to look at to now. We're over 500,000 deaths when it comes to the whole COVID-19 pandemic. And we'll try to stay away from the whole politics BS because that's part of what's going on with this situation. But I just remember and reflecting on where I actually was when this whole situation happened. I was still working at a New York City radio station at the time. I was filling in as a producer and a board up for a syndicated program. I'll never forget, I was sitting in front of the computer getting ready to essentially start the show. I think we went through a segment or two. It's a 4-hour show. And it comes across Twitter that Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz officially tests positive for COVID-19. And then I start seeing Twitter going on an absolute crazed frenzy. I've never seen anything like it in the world of social media. And then we start to see Tom Hanks test positive for COVID-19. And his wife also, and then everything just totally spiraled out of control. And I'm trying to get the host's attention that you need to go and break this news. Like it's major news we're talking about here. And you saw it in the opening clip package that I think it was in the Utah Jazz Oklahoma City Thunder game that the announcer says due to
unforeseen circumstances,
which they didn't know at the time, which ended up being COVID, was everyone needs to file out, you're all safe. Well, that's a little bit of irony.
Well, I'll tell you, I say, I know it's irony, but you know what it also is? Crowd control. If we understood the scope of what was, I mean, like if they had just blatantly said somebody has tested positive, you would have seen a riot trying to exit that place.
You would have seen people get hurt.
Yeah, but the interesting thing about that night, and I didn't put it in the package because it would have been too long, was they continued the games for the rest of that night. They had 2 games being played, so they didn't cancel everything until
in those areas there was no positive tests.
There were no confirmed cases.
Right.
Well, not to say that there weren't cases there, but nobody had tested positive because back then nobody could get a test. So.
No, but Woj got the news from the NBA that the season was officially suspended, and they still continued to play after they canceled a game already that night.
Well, because in the announcement they said effective tomorrow. They didn't say effective immediately.
I can tell you, yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that's some of my issues with Adam Silver, which we'll get into, but I don't know. This whole thing, and you see it in all the clip packages, ours, and many others, that once the NBA went down, and I say went down because they had to make a decision to let's see, do we protect the players? Do we keep playing for money?
Well, you're saying, well, NBA, it was like dominoes. Once the NBA fell, everybody else fell.
Everything.
The next day, I'd say the next couple of days, the NHL had to postpone. Suspended season. March Madness was outright canceled completely. The MLB season and spring training were postponed. I know the UFC had an event a couple of days later, but then they were gone for 2 months. And that event before they were forced onto hiatus, guys, that was the event down in Brazil where there was an empty arena. And it's just so amazing. Like, that little event down in Brazil was going to be the future of sports for that year. Empty arenas all across the nation, all across the world.
It's a crazy time for where the sports world went. And I remember, like, not just us, but major networks were trying to figure out, okay, what the heck are we supposed to cover?
How are we going to cover this?
Yeah. How are we going to cover this? In the case of like ESPN and Fox, who have broadcast rights to sports, how are we going to fill the time?
There was no way to fill the time. It was just a matter of, what do I do? We need to keep content on the air.
That's it. Most sports stations, if I remember right, it was either classic programming, documentary style programming,
best of games,
best ofs, right, with longer classics,
or Zoom conversations, full programs,
right? Zoom conversations, like over here at WFAN here in New York, a bunch of the weekday hosts basically were forced to do weekend stuff.
Well, yeah, you're talking about that they basically, because in a lot of these big radio conglomerates,
like Boomer and Geo were given a Saturday show for I'd say the difference on the weekend stuff was it was national. It wasn't just
right. What they were essentially doing, just so people understand who don't understand the radio business, is basically they cut down on local programming because they weren't bringing in the proper, even in New York, they weren't bringing in the revenue that was necessarily needed. So what they did is, and music stations did this too, like in iHeart, they did it also. They basically took their New York shows, their LA shows, and put them on all around the country to save money in a furlough situation. So the same thing they did with sports. I mean, I think the funniest thing for us was when they put Mike Francesa on the air to do a national show
on Sunday.
That was fun to watch that flan collapse. But
yeah, I mean, I'll say my own funny story about this was that that day when the NBA had basically shut down, I was having a hard day. I was just starting the job at the time, like I think it was a month in, and we were still doing an audio form. Yeah. So like I would work Saturdays doing the MMA coverage, and then Saturday evening into Sunday morning, be up editing the stuff. So that was just a day where I said a
lot more work that went into this. I mean,
but that was just a day where I said, I've had enough. I'm just gonna shut down for the night. I turned my phone off, and I turned my phone back on.
You're not the only one who shut down.
I was the one, I think, that messaged the two of you when I was at work.
I was. Go ahead. I was sitting on my couch. I was sitting on the recliner actually, watching CNN. CNN got it first, then Twitter exploded. Then I'm trying to message you guys because I'm making sure that I'm not going crazy and you guys are seeing this too.
And then I put the message out saying, I'm at the radio station doing a nationally syndicated show, and the news just broke, and everyone's running around at the radio station.
Going crazy.
I turned my phone on around 11, 12 o'clock at night. Like, okay, let's get
you see all the messages from me.
Well, I was going to say, I said, let's get back to reality. And then I see the messages from you. You know when you get the Twitter notifications like news for you when it's like something prevalent to you? I said the NBA suspended season. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and then you both called me, and because again, me being the basketball guy, you were just like, "What's going on there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's official. They suspended the season."
Yeah, it's official, but I don't know what's gonna happen. You know what it is?
And it was panic. I was gonna say we have experience in that panic because we were like, "There's no sports. What the hell are we gonna?"
What the hell are we gonna talk about?
Yeah, But wait a minute. How do you think I felt going back and forth to the city? Well, you did it, Tom, also. But
But the difference is I was able to work from home starting on the 17th of March. You just kept going. I remember the calls we would have, like the video calls over Facebook, where you would show us just the empty subway stations and the empty trains.
Felt like felt like something out of a zombie movie.
The one day, where I had to go into the office to work so I can get everything, to work from home, basically, that train ride felt like a ghost town to and from.
If you want to experience what I experienced all during the pandemic, you can go on my Facebook page and see it on my video wall, all the videos of me, because I literally was taking video logs every day, because I would get to Penn Station. For most people who don't know that, being in New York City, it was a scary situation.
It was. I mean, Penn Station, one of the most crowded places in the world, completely empty. Times Square, completely empty.
Wait, and to think that we're still not back to that normal point of a crowded Penn Station or Times Square.
It's better. It's a lot better than it was.
It's better, but it's not where it should. It's not where it was.
But just to give people the perspective, what happened a year ago is I would get on the trains. I remember going to the parking lot. Usually I can't find a spot when I'm going to work. I literally pulled up into the front row at Hicksville Station on Long Island, for people who are not from here. And I said, this is what the heck? And then I see the trains, I get on, there's no one on it. And then finally a conductor who's walking through the train, oh my God, live civilization. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what are you doing on here? No one's taking the train. I said, no shit. Sorry. Just making my point that
I'm the only idiot here taking the train.
You're an essential worker.
Everybody's trying to get away from New York. I'm the only schmuck trying to get in.
Yeah, and what people don't realize is in the radio business, since it's 24/7, we couldn't just sit and automate, even though I think we could have, but that's a whole different story. Anyway, we've all been through tough times, and just so people know, I've told this story before. I actually had COVID. Okay, yes. I know all about the COVID situation. My place was not safe. I can admit that now because I'm not there anymore. And just try to be as safe as you possibly can, even now.
Look, I think we are. I mean, we're all three of us are fortunate in a pandemic where 500,000 people have died. And 29 million people have gotten sick that really didn't need to get sick. I feel like, look, I'm lucky enough that I've gotten vaccinated. I've gotten both shots, and I've, Tom, your pops and your brother are all right. Nick, you recovered, but I think that COVID has kind of changed us to. We were innocent. It's from innocence to experience, and I don't know if we can get that where we were back. We can only go forward,
I mean, all three of us being in New York, we should remember like when 9/11 happened and basically the world had flipped upside down and wasn't going to be the same. Kind of feels the same way that the world is not going to be the same, even when we're back to normalcy.
At the height of the pandemic, it felt like, and I hate to say this, it felt like 9/11 when the city was completely emptied out, where nobody could do anything. It was completely unsafe. It was dangerous. You didn't know what else could happen, and you're just
in that. I'd say not so much in terms of like what is next. Where do we go from here? Like it felt so awkward.
I think it was more confusion than anything.
Confusion, yeah.
It felt awkward. It's just we as Americans were not used to this. Because everywhere in other places in the world have been hit with viral pandemics before, but we've never, as Americans, we're kind of spoiled and we've never done that.
We'll go into what
in like 100 years.
Well, we'll go into what Nick was saying basically about his experiences in New York. I mean, think about it. New York is the city that never sleeps, and well, we were kind of asleep for a good portion.
The city was asleep. I'm telling you. For anyone who wants to go see the videos, go look at the videos. Once I got off the train and I walked upstairs, I'm telling you, there was nobody on what they call the busy streets in New York City. There was nothing.
Actually, we got you. We had you when we were doing a pre-show meeting. I can't remember when this was, but we had you go live, walking out of the station, down the stairs, to an Uber to Penn Station, and then back on the train home. All
what I did.
the way home. And it was freaky.
It was freaky. It was surprising. First of all, I don't think we'll ever see anything like that ever again, at least not for a very long time.
Well, he's hoping.
But I just thought it would be interesting to reflect on this whole situation being a year removed from this whole situation. The NBA has kind of recovered from it. The other sports are kind of recovering from it, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, and like we were saying, you know, as much as, you know, I remember that first few days because, you know, testing wasn't available, masks and gloves weren't available, you know, like obviously vaccine far from available because we were just still learning about it.
It was just theoretical at that point. And the fact that it's here now, the fact that we've been able to get
we've come a long way.
We've come a long way. It's a miracle of science.
Yeah, but due to the whole stupidity nonsense, and I'm trying to avoid the conversation that we really don't want to have on here, but due to the intelligence up above, we could have had a vaccine a lot sooner than
we could have had a vaccine a lot sooner, and we could have, again, incompetent federal response.
But it is here now.
Yeah, that would entail talking about he who must not be named, and we're not going to do that.
I mean, we have 3 vaccines now, so hopefully we get somewhere.
Right,
and a 4th on the way. So, I mean, it's going to be. I mean, do we need to talk about Texas, or we'll get to that?
No, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Maybe we'll see.
I'll say we'll get to that in time, but we can just end it here by saying, you know what? But you know, as I was saying, we've come a long way, and hopefully in the next few months, you know, more of us will get vaccinated. I think I'm eligible starting next week, so let's see how long it takes to get an appointment and everything.
My parents actually, they just got an appointment. They couldn't get one until like May.
So is that when their appointment is?
Yeah, it's in May. Yep.
You know, but
wait a minute. And the weird thing is, like, they're saying, like, now they're putting waiting lists at locations because they don't want to waste shots that are going to be expired. That's the thing that I heard. So I don't know. We'll be able to pick up on this conversation over time.
I was gonna say, but regardless of the stupidity or the complications, everything else that COVID has brought, you know, like I said, we've come a long way. Keep staying safe, everybody, and you know, hopefully sooner or later we are all back to business.
Yes.
All right. So now, Nick, I'm going to bring this up to a little bit of a more. I don't know if I want to say happier. It'll be funny for me and
it's
Nick.
It's funny to watch you squirm about this stuff.
Speaking of reflection, Nick, can you reflect on the events of the NBA All-Star Game this past weekend?
God. Okay. So I was already angry enough about the whole pandemic. Now you just want me to be angry?
I'm gonna go on mute and just enjoy this show.
So I don't know. Where do I want to start? Do I want to start with how a player tried to kiss the rim during an NBA dunk contest, or that?
I think you should start on the fact that there were ending up, COVID-19 protocols did end up coming into effect.
Oh, about that. So I guess brotherly love didn't play so well during this whole COVID pandemic for the NBA All-Star Game. The reason I say it that way is because Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons were out due to COVID protocol. Are you kidding?
You know, that's like a fire station being burnt to the ground. And I'm not talking about garden variety, the Alanis Morissette effect. That's not regular irony. That's extra strength irony.
I don't understand this. Like Tom said, we should have canceled the effing All-Star Game. I'm trying my best not to curse.
Here's the thing.
I understand your frustration.
Here's the thing. It wasn't supposed to happen, but then like a couple of months into the season, Adam Silver thought, oh, money, ratings, I need an idea. Oh, All-Star Game.
No, this is Adam Silver going for the gold. That's what this whole situation was.
Let me think. People like the dunk contest, but what if it was more like a dunk show? you know, kind of like a 15-minute break between.
First of all,
if you're in line to the bathroom for the All-Star game, you can actually stick around and catch the dunk contest.
First of all, the dunk competition hasn't been good since the late 90s. So can we stop with...
Ooh, that's a hot take.
Ooh.
Okay,
Ooh.
And I hate that...
You might get some pushback for that, kiddo.
I don't really give a you-know-what, to be quite honest. And I'm tired of people saying that, like, they make it up and they manufacture an opinion during the dunk competition. Oh, my God, what an amazing dunk! Why are you doing that? Oh, wait, because the content is not good! Kissing the rim during a dunk attempt is not good!
I mean, they're just trying to be as out there as possible. Why, do you hate fun?
No, I enjoy fun.
Are you Dwayne Wade who won't give a 10 dunk to anybody?
That was pathetic. That was absolutely pathetic.
I think you hate fun, Nick.
Tell Dwayne Wade to stick to being on TNT and not being a judge in a competition.
I think you see. You know what? Now I have proof. Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen it with your own eyes, heard it with your own ears. This man hates fun.
Why do I hate fun? Tell me. Tell me why I hate fun.
Because who makes fun of people just showing off? Everybody does that when everybody
kissing the rim is a good dunk. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
The Superman from Dwight Howard, that was interesting.
Hey,
Gerald Green.
That wasn't in the 90s though.
No, but I'm pointing back to a few things though. Gerald Green, when he put the cupcake with the lit candle on the edge of the rim and blew the candle out while dunking. That's interesting. Kissing the rim is not interesting, everybody. It's not.
Well, it's kind of unsanitary when you think about it.
And actually, he didn't do it. He turned his head when he was going to do it. And by the way, 320 points combined in an NBA All-Star game where there's, Tom, say it for me, there's no what being played?
Defense.
No defense. Defense.
I want to see
defense.
I want to see a block. I want to see defense being played. I don't want to see 100 threes being shot. I could care less.
I have an
idea.
idea.
All-Star game. Every NHL All-Star game, the goalies go take a piss.
I have an idea then. I have an idea. Let's make a new skills competition where somebody you have to get as many dunks and successful baskets while you're going one-on-one with Mutombo.
Wait, no, not today.
Can't be Mutombo or put Hakeem Olajuwon up on the stepladder.
And you know what? I have one worse. They Harlem Globetrottered it by putting the 4-point spot in on the court. Okay? Can we not? This is not the Harlem Globetrotters. This is the freaking NBA, for crying out loud.
You just love peeing on people's cereal, don't you?
Who cares about a 4-point shot? If we want to see, wait a minute. If we want to see grown men take half-court shots, I'll go to my local YMCA and watch it.
Wow. Wow. Now everybody that goes to the YMCA to play basketball is now going to hate this. Is not going to hate this show. Thank you.
I'm serious, though. If I want to see half-court shots, I'll go to my local gym, and we'll have a contest shooting shots from half-court.
Look, we don't want to get trolled by the village people. Stop doing that with the YMCA.
I was just gonna suggest we should end today's show with the YMCA. Let's not do our normal theme song.
But I've been mad with Adam Silver for quite a long time now.
No shit, you have.
And
gee, I wonder why.
Mayor Bottoms in Atlanta even came out and said that they shouldn't have had the damn game.
Yeah, they shouldn't. I mean, it's a contact tracer's worst nightmare.
And also, they had the families there. They had the kids there. Oh, no fans allowed, but we'll bring the families in.
I'll go one step further. The NBA season in itself, how there's no restrictions like MLB or NHL is now. That's a contact tracer's worst nightmare.
So wait a minute. If there was contact tracing issues, because apparently Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons were in contact with a barber in Philadelphia before they came down, shouldn't that have meant that everyone could have been in contact tracing protocol at that point?
If everybody got a haircut from that barber, yeah.
No, I'm talking about because they came down to Atlanta.
Well, there's no such thing as a contact of a contact. I mean,
okay.
Unless that contact tested positive, then everybody becomes...
I'm talking about exposure. They were saying that technically if you're in exposure, then everyone could have technically been in exposure there in Atlanta.
Well, let me ask, what really is a COVID protocol in the NBA?
Nothing, according to Adam Silver.
Says it is?
No, you want to know what COVID protocols are to Adam Silver? Money. That's the COVID protocol for Adam Silver.
I mean, he's really treating this like the vacuum in his wallet, and he really shouldn't.
Do I need to go back and play our NBA Cares?
I mean, we know he doesn't give a shit about the players' health. We know that. It's been well established over the course of this year.
And by the way, why do you think the game was in Atlanta? Take a wild guess.
Turner.
Because that's the only place that they can get their headquarters in. Can we speak? Go ahead.
Well, speaking of I noticed something, gentlemen. Just a little tidbit to end things. I noticed something. The MLB All-Star Game this year. Do you know where it's being held?
Not
was it LA?
No, LA was supposed to do 2020. They've been pushed back to 2022. Do you know where this year it's going to be in?
I heard, but I don't remember now.
Atlanta.
Oh, you got it.
Really? Oh, Turner.
Does that mean Anthony's going to carry TBS is going to carry?
No, probably not. I just find it absolutely funny that, of course, Atlanta.
No, it might be. It actually might be. I think it's either going to be on Fox or TBS.
Well, Fox always carries it every year.
You are going to end up turning that state into a friggin' COVID ward.
But look what. Okay,
since people are going to die because you were greedy.
Since you brought it up, Tom, let's quickly talk about Texas because it fits this conversation now. So we heard it came out from Texas because Texas is the only freaking state that's open 100% with no masks. Thank you, Governor Abbott, for being the biggest asshole in the entire world.
Which is saying something.
It's worse than our freaking governor here in New York, and that's saying a lot.
Well, our governor's in his own little kind of mess. A whole different mess.
So the report is that they're going to allow 100% capacity for the opening game. But wait, it's only for the first game. Then they're going to go back to COVID protocols after opening day.
Wait, whoa, wait, what?
Wait, what?
It's for opening day only.
It's not back in the barn.
It's opening day only.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, because they want to have the stadium full.
What's the point?
I just told you because they want the stadium to look full.
What's the point of one game?
Remember, it's all for TV ratings and money. Come on.
But nobody else is doing that.
Circus.
Yep. I know.
Actually,
that,
I'll do you one better. Actually. That's Rob Manfred in a nutshell.
But I say, coming from the MMA world, I know that Dana White had been trying to get a UFC event in Texas upon that announcement, but he's been unsuccessful so far, supposedly.
By the way, Rob Manfred makes Dana White look like a saint.
Which is saying something because Dana White never saw a harebrained scheme. He didn't want to somehow fight.
I was going to say, well, supposedly from what I know, he has been trying to get a UFC card in Texas, but the mayors are turning him down because they don't want the full capacity.
You don't think that he was begging? I saw a report that basically says he was begging to go to Texas now that the protocols were lifted. And by the way, I'll go one more hot take. Rob Manfred makes Vince McMahon look like a normal guy. Okay?
Oh boy.
No, let's not say things like that here.
I'd say Vince McMahon as a whole. Vince McMahon is not normal.
Vince McMahon, he's on a completely different planet. He might not even be in this dimension.
I stand by that opinion. You can put me on the record for that one.
But my point is, you guys have seen the reports from Dana. You're talking about seeing reports. If even like 1% less, if it's only 99% full, he won't do it. He'll keep running events at the Apex like he is tonight.
He'll keep doing Fight Island, or he'll keep putting fighters in seclusion because apparently this is the opening 20 minutes to Enter the Dragon. I just don't.
Nick, it's 2021. Mortal Kombat is having a remake. This is what it is.
It is Mortal Kombat, and he's Shang Tsung.
It's a mashup. Enter the Dragon, Mortal Kombat, and Fight Club. That's what this is. Fight Island is.
He is. It's get over here to Fight Island.
I left out one thing from before. We're having issues with March Madness this year already. With
Duke, and I think there was. I said Duke had
Virginia.
To pull out.
I think Virginia.
I said the Virginia Georgia Tech game. I think it was.
Yeah, so Georgia got the automatic bid because I think Virginia had a COVID positive test. So, and they have all these issues that by Tuesday at 6 p.m. that the bracket is supposed to lock, and they have 2 days, and they have to go 7 full days. 7 full days without a COVID positive, or else they get pulled off the bracket.
Well, I was going to say, because now you got to get all those teams over to Indianapolis.
Right. It's one location for the full bracket.
Tournament. Yeah.
A bubble,
basically. Yeah. I'd say, but the thing is, certain conferences don't go to, like one of my alma maters. Their tournament this year was in Atlantic City, so now they got to go from an Atlantic City bubble to an Indianapolis bubble.
Right.
Within days' time.
Which is its own set of problems, but since when do they actually put players' health into account here? It's always what'll cost us the least amount of money.
All right. If you want to say something, finish off, Nick.
No, I'm good. I got it all out.
Okay. Okay, guys, let's go to the other stories of this week because I'd say we before we decided to do a COVID reflection, we didn't actually have a lot, but let's talk with what we got. So let's talk about Meyers Leonard. So
actually, we have 2 stories here. I don't know. Did you see my message about the other story?
Yes,
also?
I have the other one.
Actually, these 2 kind of go hand in hand almost, but we'll talk about this one first because this is the major.
Yeah, this one and this one, but let's start with Meyers Leonard.
Okay, so I'm on Twitter because, again, that's how we find out our trending news these days. It's no longer going to a newspaper and any of that old technology that doesn't really exist anymore. But
I like getting angry at complete strangers, don't you?
Yeah, I'm sure you're right. So on my trending screen, because that's how we look at everything. If you want to follow us, by the way, at ETB Sports, it's scrolling on the bottom of the screen. So on the trending, I see Meyers Leonard, and I said, okay, that's.
Well, let's face it. This in this modern day and age. It's what do we think when we see something? We're like, oh no.
When you see a name,
it's either dead or controversy.
It's the milkshake duck effect.
Right. It's never something positive anymore. If you're trending, well, for the most part, 99.9% of people.
Say we get nervous, and then sometimes we'll see it, and it's just an appreciation.
I'm going to say something right off the bat, which is when you see a name trending, wouldn't you say 99.9% of the time you think they're dead?
Yes.
Dead or I said dead or controversy. Sometimes, thankfully, it just ends up being an appreciation post. But
nah, most of the time I think they're dead.
I said this time it's not.
Look.
Well, actually, figuratively,
context is necessary.
Wait a minute.
Explain what happened.
I was going to say figuratively he died, but that's a whole different issue. Anyway,
again, context is necessary.
Okay.
We need to say what happened.
Okay, so. Meyers Leonard, who is a player for the Miami Heat, was playing on a Twitch video stream with somebody else.
Call of Duty Warzone.
Okay, you know that because I don't play video games as much. And he basically utters a Jewish anti-Semitic slur.
The K word, essentially. We will not be repeating it on air.
No.
But
I laugh at our pre-show meeting when Nick Morgasen thought the word was kink.
I misspoke, okay? Damn it, all right?
It's its own box of worms. But in this case, he was racist, not just really horny.
Right, exactly. Anyway.
But
I'm just going to pretend you didn't say that, by the way. Anyway, so Meyers Leonard is, like I said, on a Twitch video stream, and he says this anti-slur. And by the way, the video is like 10 to 12 seconds long. excuse me, and you hear it for about what, like a second and a half. That's
it's like one of those. It's like my reaction to when the NBA season. It's like that quick snap turn of the head. Like, wait, what?
Wait, what did you just say?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking at this, and then I see him trending, and I'm like, okay, let me go check this out. And then when I watch the video, I literally go, like, what the heck? Like,
yeah.
So
is that one you weren't expecting?
So I see that the video has been watched almost 2 million times, by the way. And when a video is watched 2 million times, it's not usually a good thing. So I'm going through and I'm trying to find where this whole thing is coming from. And I see he's playing video games. And then I think I put on our Twitter account that essentially the NBA did nothing except find him.
Let's give more context. So Leonard was actually out for the season due to injury. He was
shoulder injury
very early on in the season, and he was just gone. So then the Miami Heat came out like a day later and said he would be basically removed from all team activities, even though he's already gone for the year, basically.
He lost all his Twitch sponsors also.
He lost all his Twitch sponsors. But a league-wide punishment? Well, isn't there supposedly a league investigation going on?
This is one of the things that I'm really pissed off with Adam Silver about, okay? So last week, I think it was last week, we discussed the NBA Asian hate campaign. We talked about that.
The anti-Asian hate campaign.
Right.
And it was a big thing. All the sports. The NBA started it, then the NHL followed, MLB followed, all the sports followed. And then we see something like this, and the NBA doesn't react right away. Oh, we have to. Mike Bass, who I think is one of their head of media and VP for the NBA, basically came out and said that we need to go gather some more information on it. Hello? What more information is there to gather? There's a video out there with an anti-slur in it.
He says it. Like, I don't know
what else is there to gather? What else is there to investigate? It's right, Nick. This is like something you would say. It's like right in front of your face.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I would say, because his defense is, I didn't know it was an anti-Semitic slur.
We'll get to that because I want to read part of the apology. But go ahead.
Well, it probably would be better off if I say it after you read it.
I'm looking for it at the moment because I can't remember where.
Because at this point, look, the way he said it.
Okay, well,
I found it.
The split second that he took after he said it is like he realized, oh boy. So don't go pleading ignorance here. You knew what that was.
Well, so here's the line you're referring to, Nick. So he put out, first of all, he didn't speak publicly, which, by the way, is one of my pet peeves. When you make a mistake, you need to speak publicly, not through a statement, not through a PR BS. So the statement you're referring to, Nick, is he says, well, I didn't know what the word meant at the time. My ignorance about its history and how offensive it is to the Jewish community is absolutely not an excuse, and I was just wrong. It's like you said, don't plead ignorance.
You know what it meant. You know what you were supposed to do. What the hell are you doing?
He said, I acknowledge and own my mistake, and there's no running from something like this that is so hurtful to someone else. This is not a proper representation. This is the line that I can't stand either. This is not a proper representation of who I am, and I want to apologize. What do you mean? Nick, you said this to us in pre-show meetings. Proper representation?
He threw that off way too easy for it to not be at least part of his part of who he is as a person.
I'm going to make a bold statement right now.
That is up to you.
I don't even think he said that himself. I don't think he said. I think someone wrote that message on that tweet and on that black screen, and that he didn't say a damn word of that whole thing.
It's a PR lackey, but
it's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
That's why I said you need to speak out publicly and to video.
I want a Jewish person's perspective, Nick, because you are half Jewish. Considering how the two of Tom and I are Italian, we really. Well, how would you feel if somebody said that to you?
Well, I'd be pissed off. I mean, now I just want to clear that I'm not as I don't. what's the best way to explain it? Like, I don't do everything. Like, there are people who are Orthodox who do everything. Like, I celebrate the religion, obviously.
Okay, you're not as religious. You're not as observant, I guess.
Right, that's it.
Observant.
So basically, the way I would say this is just be appropriate and don't say dumb shit.
It literally doesn't take much to be a nice person in this world. I think I've said that about 5,000 times since we've started this show.
Oh god!
And on the Adam Silver train, I mean, like we were just saying, this goes back to the anti-Asian campaign. The NBA is seemingly the most progressive league out there. That Nick always says. We say progressive, but Nick always points out, it's seemingly progressive because, I mean, there was silence when the Jeremy Lin controversy happened. There was silence in this. I mean, if you're going to celebrate, and promote equality and everybody being on a more equal level, shouldn't this be matters where you're speaking out about as a league?
Right. And that's the problem with this whole situation. And when I found out that they fined him $50,000 and they said that he's suspended from the
team festivities
and also all the different arenas and everything that they own.
I'll say, well, again, wasn't that the Heat who said that, not the league?
Yeah, well, Adam Silver basically hides behind the players and sucks their you-know-whats, but that's a whole different issue.
But again, that's my point. Adam Silver and a league, a seemingly progressive league, this should be matters, where they're speaking more out against. And I didn't see it for anything. But so between that and the Jeremy Lin stuff, that's disappointing. Now, maybe for the Jeremy Lin stuff, they'll just point to, G League, it's the G League. But, this is stuff that's unacceptable. And it's some stuff that's unacceptable as a commissioner for you to just be silent.
He should be fired. I'm going to say this again. So everyone who's listening, please listen very carefully, okay? Adam Silver needs to be fired for the way that he's handling the situation as a commissioner, because he's not being a commissioner right now.
What were you going to say, Nick?
No, you said it all.
All right. Very quickly, another story that popped up. So there was a high school basketball commentator who was actually fired for some racist remarks that went out over the air. I'll say, well, again, we're not going to play that because obviously really, really disrespectful.
Using the N-word with a hard R, I should say.
By the way, this reminds me of a situation back in radio with a certain guy named Don Imus, if that rings a bell.
Oh, yeah. The werewolf that didn't finish transforming.
Well, difference between I think we're going to, Nick Morgasen, you and I are going to have the same points on this story right here as compared to Imus, because Imus was a radio show, so
a shock jock.
Yeah, a shock jock, right? But in this kind of story, I think you and I are on the same point here, Nick, and I even think Nick Fodera agree. Gentlemen, what is the number one rule in broadcasting?
Oh, make sure the mic isn't live.
Always assume the mic is hot.
Recorded. Always assume the mic is hot.
I put that out in the tweet this morning at 2:00 in the morning when I was still awake. Well, actually, or close to 3:00 in the morning when I was still awake because I don't really sleep anymore. But that's besides the point. Anyway,
well, you're part vampire, but still, that's beside the point.
Well, because I could suck the blood out of Adam Silver for being, you know what. Anyway,
but still, the what he blamed it on was so.
I have it right here. Do you want me to read the press release?
Yeah.
So the guy's name is Matt Ronan. And
you pastor.
Right. We'll get to that. And they were, by the way, just so people understand, this wasn't radio, it wasn't TV. It was a digital platform for for high school sports?
Yeah, high school basketball.
So Matt Ronan was one of their announcers, and we're not going to play it like I said, but if you've seen the video, you could clearly hear, and Nick, you made this point, and Tom, you made this point. The mics are not off. They're not off in any way, shape, or form. And all of a sudden, like Nick said, you hear effing blank.
Yeah, as I say, you're supposed, like, the national anthem was playing. So when the national anthem is playing, you know, like sometimes there is a break because I've been a broadcaster.
It's your prep time before the game starts.
Right. But you know, I don't know how it works in that particular station, but like during my time, you would hear the commercials or the intro for the package or whatever in your ear, and you have a producer talking to you. You would know you're on break.
When I was at LIU here on the island, when I called the games for basketball, I would have them in my ear while I'm waiting for the game to start, and they would be asking me, all right, how much time until the anthem is over? Or usually they have a clock up on the screen, the scoreboard that tells you how much time until the game starts. So like I'm talking to them, but you never hear that. In a million years, you would never hear that. And what made this whole situation worse, it was a black women's basketball team, and he was referring to them kneeling.
Oh God! I mean, that's extra strength racism right there.
And the coach came out on Twitter. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah.
I only saw the video.
Yeah, I did.
And he went hard after this guy.
He turned the guy into a grease stain.
Oh, yeah. So I know we're running a little short, so let me get through the statement. So Matt Ronan, basically, he came out, during the Norman High School girls basketball game against Midwest City, I made inappropriate. Now, this goes back to the whole Meyers Leonard conversation again. I made inappropriate and racist comments believing that the microphone was off. Bing, 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 bing. You thought the microphone was off. That should have been your first come to you-know-what moment.
Oh, God.
However, let me state immediately that this is no excuse. Such comments should have been uttered. Now, that's number one. You ready for number two of what made this whole thing blow up even more? I am a family man. I am married, have 2 children, and at one time, like Nick said, was a youth pastor. I continue to be a member of a Baptist church. I am not only embarrassed and disappointed myself, I have embarrassed and disappointed my family and friends. Now, wait, it gets worse than that. You don't think it could get much worse than that. It does. I will state that I suffer type 1 diabetes, and during the game, my sugar was spiking. While not excusing my remarks, it is not unusual when my sugar spikes that I become disoriented and often say things that are not appropriate as well as hurtful.
Then why were you on the air?
I do not believe that I would have made such horrible statements absent my sugar spiking. Excuse me?
I'll say first of all, that's a stupid excuse. Second of all, I'd say I know people who had diabetes. If your sugar was spiking and you were feeling uncomfortable, why were you commentating a game?
Or why weren't you taking care of it?
Second of all, type 1 diabetes doesn't actually do that. If your sugar spikes, you don't all of a sudden turn into a card-carrying Klansman.
Well, right, but I'm just saying, if you weren't feeling well, number one, if you weren't feeling well, why are you commentating the game? Number two, that's why I said the first excuse. It's stupid.
By the way, we had 2 comments.
Seven different things.
We had 2 comments on Twitter.
Things.
So I put this up, and I wrote. So two people responded on Twitter. He's a father and a youth pastor teaching all the little white kids that white supremacy is the way. What a thoughtful sage of our time. Sarcasm.
Ooh.
So that's one.
Somebody's coming out swinging.
And then the second one. This is a good one. I file this under excuses are like butts. Everybody got one. And this guy is so full of crap. Hey, Nick, did you write that one under a burner account?
No, I don't think that was one of mine.
That's a pretty good one, though.
It is.
It was pretty good. It is pretty good. Thanks for that.
Again, follow us on all our Twitters down below.
Yeah, seriously, that was good.
Yeah.
All right, very quickly, because we are really running out on time. The XFL and CFL. So there's this statement from the XFL. I'll tell you, a news story broke a couple of days ago that the XFL was in talks with the CFL about this quote right here: possible collaborations.
Possible collaboration.
And that doesn't mean a collaborative album. It doesn't mean like they're going to cut an album together.
What's going on is basically now the XFL 2.0 started under Vince McMahon, ended up it was doing all right midway through, but then midway through coronavirus hits, as we just talked about at the beginning. So, and because of COVID, which we talked about at the beginning, the Canadian Football League, which has been around a long time, as long as the NFL, basically that didn't even get off the ground for 2020. It didn't even have a season or a preseason or anything. The CFL asked the Canadian government for reportedly $30 million in order to get the season going. So from what I take of it, the CFL is having some money problems, and the XFL is now owned, of course, by the biggest star in Hollywood, The Rock. Dwayne The Rock
Johnson.
I mean, how desperate are you that The Rock and his business partner, who actually is his ex-wife, had to buy the XFL?
From Vince
McMahon. At first you don't succeed. You got to pray to God that Dwayne Johnson actually cares.
Well, what's funny...
Or the XFL is like the WWE. If you keep getting knocked down, you get back up and you try again.
Have you been listening to Chumbawamba as of late?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Or I've been listening to Vince McMahon, who just takes a million chances, even though he gets knocked down more times than he gets up.
But and what's funny, I forgot until now. The Rock he actually was in the CFL for a brief time.
Yes, he was.
He was.
So, and the CFL, which I completely didn't know about, in the mid-90s, tried to expand into the United States, and one of its teams ended up winning a championship. So is this trying to... I mean, that experiment was mostly a failure, though. So is this maybe, hey, you have the money, I have the prestige of a league, let's merge or something?
Let's combine like let's combine like Voltron. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to turn out to be the Megazord they want it to be.
Well, is this a step down, though, because you actually had Vince McMahon, who actually had the money to run the league, and he basically just
You're saying The Rock doesn't have money?
Yeah, you're saying The Rock...
No, I'm not... No, but Vince McMahon definitely had more money, I would think, than The Rock did. He was running the freaking WWE, for crying out loud. I mean...
Still, Vince... The Rock is a lot more telegenic.
No, I'm not disputing
and
that.
The Rock has the football experience, being a
Everybody likes The Rock. Most people don't like Vince McMahon.
No,
I hate to say it, but they don't.
Again, I'm not disputing that, but at the same time, you have to admit he has business acumen. If he can run the WWE, that's tough in itself. So maybe there's just problems with the XFL, like there always have been.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, the XFL has postponed its potential 2022 start because of this talks. Now, here's one last thing that I'll point out. The Canadian Football League, it's like college football here. Like where we say college football down the South is very more popular than the NFL, not particularly fond of outsiders. Same way. So Canadian Football League, as much as we praise the XFL for some of its innovations this time around, like the point afters in the because I remember you loved that, Nick Morgasen. Like if they try to bring some of that into the CFL, are the CFL crew actually gonna be open arms about it? I really don't think so.
I mean, heck, that's like what they're trying to do with Major League Baseball. They're trying to test out all these new rules. I'm sure you heard about that.
Yeah, they're basically trying to remove the pickoff.
Well, no, because they want more stolen bases. Because again, stolen bases would be more exciting. And anything that involves exciting, you might as well take Rob Manfred's name off of it. Continue.
No, but my point is, and I'll add one more point here. Sorry. The CFL season is June through November. So if the XFL, basically merges into the CFL is going to have some competition with the NFL, at least very early on.
And Major League Baseball and whoever else is on. So who knows?
And speaking of whoever else is on, one final thing here. The NHL has signed some U.S. media rights deal with ESPN.
Okay, I'm going to say this now, and Tom, I think, knows what I'm about to say. So how many employees is ESPN going to fire now because they've added NHL rights, and they keep buying up rights for games?
Unfortunately, I know that's going to come. For now, all I'm going to say is, Barry Melrose, your patience has paid off, because he should be a freaking commentator or an analyst on this stuff.
Hey, he'd be better at his job than Pierre Maguire was at his.
Oh.
And I'm
So-
saying that, yes, I am absolutely saying that as an aggrieved Ranger fan.
So ESPN is going. As I was saying, ESPN basically for the next 7 years or so is going to
7 years, 4 out of the next 7 Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
Now, wait, I want to say the funny thing that made you laugh in this whole deal. Let's say hello to the NHL on Hulu.
Okay, so let's get into that. So ESPN basically and the NHL, let's say it's not an exclusive deal like it was, we thought it was going to be. NBC is still going to have some rights to the NHL. It's not going to have the full prime time big game rights like it used to, but it'll still broadcast some games. The Stanley Cup will be traded back and forth between the two stations between years, like the Super Bowl is. So we'll see the Stanley Cup on ABC. That'll be fun come NBA Finals time when they have it and when they have to work around that schedule. That's gonna be difficult.
It'll be a bit of a pickle.
I hate to say this though, and I know I'm about to offend the 2 hockey fans in this room, but the NBA takes precedence over the NHL and ESPN.
Oh, I know that. That's not offensive.
But
I know what hockey is. I love it, but I know what it is.
Yeah. But my defense would be you can't put Game 4 of the Stanley Cup on ESPN when it's a potential game clinching, series clinching victory. You can't do that.
You can't.
That's the problem.
Try, but you shouldn't.
I mean, you're going to see flip-flops all over the place. Wait, now you're going to see an NHL studio show coming back to ESPN, and are you going to see the old ESPN2 NHL show come back?
Well, they said they're going to have at least it's either going to be the original or remaster of the NHL ESPN theme. Thank freaking God. That's a classic theme.
I mean, we'll see what happens there. We don't know the money, but I guarantee you they paid.
The suspicion is because NBC paid $200 million.
They paid more. They paid.
They're thinking ESPN probably played $400 million.
Oh, I would say close to half
a million, probably.
Well, $500 million. Yeah,
probably.
And now let's see. Let's get ahead of this story now before everyone else reports it. Okay. Should we just report now that we're going to see another cut off of plays? How many do you think they're going to cut off?
I really hope we don't, but I've got my fears.
Let's see. I shouldn't say over under. How many do you think they're going to cut due to this situation?
I don't even want to.
I don't even want to think about it.
You know what? I'm going to say they cut at least 50 employees.
Ugh. All right. As I say, since we're already over, there's one more thing I do want to mention, guys. Free agency is coming this week.
Oh no!
So we have a quarterback carousel going on. Well, the free agency. I guess we're in the period where the agents can talk to the
deals have already been agreed to.
Right. I'm saying
back with the Patriots.
Well, I was going to say that we're in the legal tampering period. I think it's called.
By the way, I need this music because when I tell you the deal that I heard in the news that got signed.
Okay.
So, did anyone else see the Tom Brady contract?
That he extended another year.
Yeah.
He's going to be there another year.
It's for 4 years.
So 1 year with 3 with.
Wait,
what?
All I heard was he was going to extend another year. I didn't hear 4 years.
Yeah.
This guy really wants to play till he's 50. This guy really wants to do it.
So you didn't hear that, did you?
No.
Yeah, they're saying technically it's a 4-year contract.
Well, I mean, I heard about the Cam signing. I'm completely shocked by that. I thought the Patriots, it would be time to move on to a rookie by this point.
Here it is. Tom Brady reached an agreement with the Buccaneers on a 4-year contract extension that avoids to a 1-year extension that locks him into Tampa through the 2022 season.
Well, I mean, they have a Super Bowl team, so good on him and good on him for getting his money. But this guy seriously wants to play till he's 50.
Yes.
I don't think he'd do like a Gordie Howe thing. I don't know about that.
I know. I don't know. Dak Prescott, of course, we know, signing with the Cowboys on that mega record deal. I mean, I guess Jerry's desperate.
I mean, I really don't want to have to think about that, but Now that's all I can think about.
So our quarterbacks available this time around. Let's see. Alex Smith, Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod Taylor, Andy Dalton. But as I say, a bunch of the big names have been going away already. But we have all these teams, like the Saints. I mean, I guess the Saints are going to stick with Winston and Hill.
They've already talked. They're in talks with Jameis Winston.
I'd say I guess they'll stick with Winston Hill. Obviously, we had the Deshaun Watson drama. We have the Sam Darnold drama over in Jetland over there.
So we're going to be following those stories.
And we have Russell Wilson drama now in Seattle about the potential that he might not stay around with the Seahawks.
Good God.
And we have a massive also amount of wide receivers available, like Juju, Antonio Brown. I think Michael Thomas is a free agent. Gentlemen, I hope we're ready for an interesting few days of free agency.
It's going to be an interesting show next week, I'll tell you that.
Is that, Nick, in regards to your team, or is that in regards to free agency?
Free agency. Yep.
Okay, I'd say for your team, I think we should speed that up like 2 times.
Well, I don't have that up right now, so I can't do that. But yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately. And I think the time is up anyway.
We're way over time here. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into another edition of Empty the Bench. Make sure to follow us on our socials, all on the bottom, one more time. And for Nick Fodera, Nick Morgasen, I'm Tom Albano. We'll see you next time. Until then, take care, everybody.
Good night, everybody!
Good night.